Hari Om. What happens to the Atma, the Sukshma Shariram, and the physical body at the time of death? Let us consider a simple example, analogy for us to easily understand this particular thing. Consider we have a water tank filled with water, and that water tank is kept open in an open place, so the sunlight can fall on that water. Now what happens is that because of the falling sunlight, there is a reflection of the sun in that water. Now this water tank is compared to the physical body. The water that is filling the tank is compared to the Sukshma Shariram, and the sun is compared to the Atma. So the light of Atma is the source by which the Sukshma Shariram is functioning. And because of the Sukshma Shariram, the Sthula Shariram of physical body is also able to function. Unless there is sunlight, there cannot be any reflection. And unless there is a water in the water tank, also there cannot be any reflection. So as long as there is Sukshma Shariram associated with this Sthula Shariram, physical body, because of the presence of the Atma, the light within, the Sukshma Shariram is able to function in this physical body. Now, Atma is ever existence. It exists all the time. But when the Sukshma Shariram ends its association with the physical body, it is called the state of physical death. When there is end of the prarabdha karma for this physical body, for a person to remain in this body, the time is getting over. So what happens? The person leaves the body. The process of leaving this body is called the state of death. Who is leaving the body? The Sukshma Shariram is leaving this body. What is Sukshma Shariram? It is actually our mind, buddhi, intellect, thoughts, emotions, feelings, the organs of knowledge, the organs of action, indriyas, the different vayus associated in the physical body for the body to function. The pancha vayus are there. So all these mind, buddhi, chittam, ahankaram, so all these 19 constitutes our Sukshma Shariram. 19 different principles constitute our Sukshma Shariram. So the Sukshma Shariram is intact. It never dies when the body dies. So that's why even when we kill any other person, only the physical body is getting killed, and we can never do anything to the Sukshma Shariram. It will, because of the fact that the prarabdha karma with this physical body has ended, the particular jiva or the Sukshma Shariram leaves that body. This is called death. So when it leaves, where exactly it goes? It goes as per his prarabdha karma and sanchita karma. Basically it goes for a period of rest for some time. It may vary how much time it is, and thereafter, depending on the sanchita karma and its latent desires and vasanas, it will take one another form, and then the new identification with that particular form will start, and again the journey or the dream continues. Our life itself is like a dream. The whole life is a dream, long dream. When this life ends, there is an end to the dream, but the dreamer remains, and the process of dreaming also remains. Next dream will start with a new body, new set of environment, circumstances. So the new dream will continue. So this dreaming will continue as long as we don't subside or eradicate our mind into its source of pure I, the presence of Bhagavan. So only when we turn our outgoing mind towards the source of the mind. That is, the mind has to be internalized to keep its attention on the source of the mind, which is the pure eye, the presence of Bhagavan. And with this practice of Mahayoga, one in due course of time will naturally weakens the ego, and the total eradication of the ego or the subsidence of the ego altogether is what is called the freedom from bondage, enlightenment, liberation, moksha. So for this moksha, we don't have to go anywhere. Being here, since we are already in the presence of Bhagavan, we just have to understand and recognize that fact that we are always here and now in the presence of Bhagavan. So now we understand that the Sukshma Shariram is what the Jiva or the individual person is. Physical death is like removing a particular shirt or cloth we are wearing. One may ask, this shirt or cloth is new one, and if it is removed, then will I not feel bad? Even though a shirt can be a new one and still very much usable, still if our karma ends with this physical body, prarabdha karma is going to end, that means that even that nice shirt also will be thrown away. It is like a body which is functioning nicely, young age, but still the person has died. So there the argument is the body may be functioning well, but the prarabdha karma with this particular body for that person has ended as per already ordained by the divine. So the particular jiva will go back and be in a state of rest for whatever time, and again will assume another body. So birth and death, the cycle of dream continues. What is important is to wake ourselves, wake up ourselves from this dream, unending dream of life and death. So the Sukshma Shariram also takes along with it the causal body. The causal body is the source of birth, containing all our vasanas, the latent impressions, the seeds of our desires. So it is basically the Anandamaya Kosha, state of sleep. It is active during the state of sleep, and it is the one wherein we kind of create our vasanas based on our daily experiences. So the Sukshma Sharira along with the causal body is always intact at the time of death, because it is the source of future way of life for a particular person. So now we understand that physical death is only leaving one coat, like we are wearing 5 coats, and our physical death is like leaving one coat, getting rid of one coat. Remaining 4 coats are intact. They constitute our Sukshma Shariram. So what is important is not to feel too bad about death, etc., because it is as ordained by Bhagavan. What is important here is, while being alive, we should experience state of conscious death. That is the practice of Mahayoga, to experience death while being conscious, while being alive in this physical body. How to do that? With the practice of Mahayoga, one should remain without unwanted thoughts by keeping one's attention on the presence of Bhagavan, the pure eye, all the time. So now what happens what one experiences after death. When we say death, it means what? It puts an end to all our interactions, all our relationships with all the worldly objects and people. Now, when we practice Mahayoga, we kind of on our own voluntarily withdraw ourselves from all the worldly objects, thoughts, etc., thereby keeping our mind's attention solely on the presence of Bhagavan within. So even while being alive, our mind is actually in a state of conscious death. Mind is conscious, but it is something very similar to death because we don't interact with anyone mentally. Our mind is quiet. There are no desires functioning over the mind. So without getting attracted to any of the worldly objects, we remain in the source. The mind remains in its source of pure being, the presence of Bhagavan, which is actually the state of conscious, experiencing conscious death. So that this way, one learns to be in the state of conscious death, the conscious immortality. So it is this practice of being in a state of conscious death while being alive in this physical body is the way by which one can go beyond the cycle of birth and death. Because as we have already experienced in conscious death, the physical death when it happens will not really matter. We are already in the presence of Bhagavan. So even when we leave this body, still we will be in the presence of Bhagavan as it is. It won't make us much change in our state of being. So that will naturally make us to abide in this state of being in the presence of Bhagavan all the time. Liberation, moksha. So let us all understand this process of death and how exactly we can gain the experience of conscious death while being alive, which is the very essence of life itself. Arunachala Hritspurti Swarupanugrahatmane Namo Bhagavate Drashtre Ramanaya Nirantaram. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala.